Have you ever wondered how wild budgerigars live? Very differently than our living room budgies. They have a sophisticated survival strategy for their sparse habitat. Hello, and welcome to Welliness and Happiness Birdies channel. Wild budgerigars are found exclusively in Australia. They are distributed across the entire continent, except for coastal areas and large forested regions. Their habitat spans several climate zones, with various dangers to navigate. In the dry deserts and grasslands of Central Australia, it gets very hot in summer. Temperatures can exceed 45 degrees Celsius, and there is hardly any rainfall. At night, temperatures often drop rapidly. In winter, the average temperature is around 20 degrees Celsius. Budgerigars that live in this area are nomadic. They feed on grass seeds and the first sprouting green that appears in the rainy season. They are also not averse to certain insects that prove to be a good source of protein. The first rain marks the starting signal for breeding. The food supply increases and the rearing of the chicks can begin. Wild budgerigars reach sexual maturity at about 5 months. They look for suitable lifelong partners with whom to start a family. The males begin to court by singing, stretching their throat pouch forward, and nodding their heads. They practically dance the tango to impress the female. Video in the info box. The females choose the male they find most suitable to successfully raise chicks. Once a pair is formed, they kiss, and the male feeds the female. The male tests her readiness to mate by tapping her back with his foot. If the female is ready, she tilts her head forward and takes a horizontal position. Then the pairing begins. Most pairs stay together for their entire lives. However, there are exceptions. Budgerigars are cavity nesters. They search for suitable nesting cavities in eucalyptus trees in the barren steppe landscape. The hens enlarge the cavities according to their needs by intense gnawing and clean them. The female retreats into the cavity to lay an egg every other day. A clutch consists of 4 to 6 eggs. The male goes foraging and guards the entrance of the cavity to fend off intruders and competitors. The mother hen only leaves the nesting cavity once a day to excrete waste. After 18 days, the first chick hatches. The mother gently helps it out of the eggshell. It is fed with a milky paste from her crop. When it is 4 days old, the father feeds not only the mother but also the chick. The chicks are naked and blind and double their weight daily. This means hard work for the male, who must gather plenty of food for the chicks and the hen. There are many dangers that it must overcome. Predators, birds of prey, snakes, heat, and storms. If it doesn't return, the whole family starves. Therefore, it needs a sophisticated strategy to withstand these dangers. Budgerigars are fast and endurance flyers. Their body structure is aerodynamic and equipped with long pointed wings. The 2 middle tail feathers stabilize the straight and fast flight. The eyes are located on the sides of the head to have a better field of view and quickly detect dangers. The birds form huge flocks of several thousand animals. Their flight behavior in the flock resembles cloud-like formations, with quick changes in direction and wave-like flight movements. In the confusion of thousands of birds, it is difficult for a predator to single out an individual animal. The wave pattern on the back and wings appears from above as a camouflage dress. It shimmers and blends in with the background. Only sick, old, and inexperienced animals are caught as prey. The daily routine of the birds begins early in the morning with foraging for food. Individual members of the flock maintain visual and vocal contact with each other to provide warnings. At a rapid pace, they swoop down in their thousands over the grasslands, making noise like a jet airplane. The hot midday hours are spent in the shade of the eucalyptus trees, before the entire flock takes off again in the early evening to search for food. It is difficult to see a green bird in the foliage of eucalyptus trees. Therefore, all wild budgerigars are green. A differently colored bird is far too conspicuous and is easily caught as prey. The yellow faces, with black throat spots and violet cheek feathers, serve the budgerigars as mutual identification marks. They glow in ultraviolet light in the dark. Budgerigars can see ultraviolet light and are therefore able to stay in contact with their flock and escape from a nighttime attack. The flock spends the night on a communal roosting tree. Sick, weak, and injured budgerigars are attacked by their own flock members to avoid drawing the attention of predators. This may seem brutal, but it is necessary to protect the entire flock from predators. Therefore, they hide their illnesses and pains from their own flock for a long time. There is no way to distinguish between females and males. They can only be differentiated by the color of their cere. Males are deep blue, while females are beige or brown when in breeding condition. The young are not as brightly colored, and the waves extend to their foreheads. They leave the nesting cavity at about 5 weeks old, fully feathered and fully grown. For several days, they are still fed by the father, and then form large groups with other young birds. There, new pairs find each other, which will raise a new generation at about 5 months of age. As soon as the young are fledged, the mother hen begins to lay eggs again, and the cycle starts anew. The loss of chicks is very high due to snakes, nest predators, heat, bushfires, and the loss of a parent. If it gets too hot and food and water become scarce, the little parakeets gather into a massive swarm and move on. Thousands of chicks that are not yet fledged are left alone in the nesting cavities and either starve or serve as welcome food for nest predators. The breeding season is over. They travel hundreds of kilometers to areas where they can find water and food, and where the climate is more bearable. Often, these are large cattle and sheep farms with their artificial waterholes that save them from starving and thirsting. In the time of climate change, an important human-made landscape that ensures the survival of small parrots, albeit unintentionally. Whole flocks settle in such places and give up their nomadic life. How old wild budgerigars get is hard to say. However, due to the high casualty rates, it is known that our well-cared-for pet budgerigars live much longer. Did you like the video? Then I would appreciate a subscription or a like. We will see each other again next Friday with a new interesting topic. Goodbye and stay healthy.